Can't take it no more. I'm going crazy. Is this a game or is it love? Please tell me, baby. I want you with me. I see it clearly, you and me, eternity. When the stars kiss the sky, love to see them in your eyes. Could I ring you up tonight? Maybe now's not a good time. Praying the moon reaches to the stars. Hold me in your arms. I wanna lie here close to you. Don't leave so soon.
You know, I have never felt so miserable. Sometimes I lie awake in bed wondering if you and me would even last forever. But I need to know that you'll stay with me. You gotta tell me now. Here we go.
Can't take it no more. You're being so cruel. Is this a game or is it love? Quit playing the fool. Let's try to be real.
This has to be real.
So open up and let me know just how you feel. When the stars kiss the sky, love to see them in your eyes. To tell you that we're more than friends. Hope I don't sound too desperate. Praying the moon reaches to the stars, that we don't tear apart. There's so much of my love to see if you stay with me. When the stars kiss the sky, love to see them in your eyes. Could I bring you up tonight? Maybe now's not a good time. Praying the moon reaches to the stars. Hold me in your arms. I wanna lie here close to you. Don't leave so soon. I've never felt like da 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 da. I've never felt like da 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 da. Baby, stay with me. Da 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 da. You gotta tell now your love came
Hello.
over me.
Hello.
How's it going?
All good. You want to hit that start on Audacity?
Yeah, I done did that.
Oh, I didn't do that yet.
Oh, that's okay.
If you exit the thing and we'll restart just so that it'll be easier to sync.
Exit Audacity?
Well, just stop your recording
Yeah,
and
stop it and
close
delete it. Okay.
Yeah, and restart.
Good morning, live people. We are fucked it up.
All right.
Yeah. 1, 2,
2.
3, go.
Hello.
Sync test.
Not
really, but
I think we should be good. Let's say 1, 2, 3, sync. Okay. Should be okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is gonna be fine.
All right. Good.
How do I sound? Sounding okay over there?
Yeah, you sound good on my end.
Let's hear how I sound on this
Yeah.
cast.
Check it to Twatch.
Nice. Okay. I guess I'm close enough to the mic, so that's good.
Yeah.
The recording is certainly fine.
There.
All right.
There we go.
So it's episode 7.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have headphones on?
I do.
Okay. I guess your mic is just picking up my sound from the speakers.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I can hear myself through your recording.
Oh, that's. Oh,
Huh.
it's my phone, I think.
All right.
Let me just adjust that a little bit. That should be good.
All right.
Hello, Twitch.
Hello, Twatch.
Twitch.
What is our itinerary today? Well, there was many in news, but why don't we start with introducing ourselves?
Our weeks, if you will.
Okay. Well, me, Ryan, had good week.
Good week, Ryan. Oh yeah,
good week.
It is to be noted that this episode is being recorded through Discord because of reasons.
Yeah, so
there may
audio
be-
quality.
Yeah.
The MP3 is going to sound okay, but don't know how great the Twitch recording might be through the whole way. So
Yeah. The main thing
That
with
might
the
be a
Twitch
thing.
is the delay between reactions, but what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? We've been in
It'll be
worse
fine.
situations.
Oh, totally, for sure. All right, so my week was pretty good. I watched a lot of stuff. I can't say I played too much games, although I did, in fact, just not 30 minutes ago beat um, the new DLC for Lego DC Supervillains, which is the Aquaman movie themed DLC pack.
Oh yeah, got it
So-
on just in time.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday, so I got it this morning and I beat it. I mean, it's not very hard. It was just like a little level, and you get a whole bunch of new characters to play as.
Mhm.
But it was based on I guess if you've seen the trailers for the movie, there's a scene in which Aquaman and his brother Orm have like a gladiator match.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the level was. Like you're fighting Orm in like the gladiator arena, and you have to do a whole bunch of stuff to kind of like undermine his attacks from behind the scenes. And you can do that as Mira, and then as Aquaman, you're just kind of fighting him directly. So that's pretty fun.
Nice.
But I got a whole bunch of nice little DLC characters. Who did I get? I got I got gladiator versions of Aquaman and Orm. And I got
I guess alt costumes.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're all dressed up in kind of gladiator armor. And I got Mira, which is cool because I didn't have Mira previously. I got the version of Black Manta from the movie, so he's all black as opposed to black and silver, and he's got a sword instead of a spear.
Mm.
And I got Nereus, who's Mira's father. And I also got Aquaman's mother. So I got a whole bunch of new characters. They all pretty much play very similarly to Aquaman, but they've got nice aesthetics, and you pretty much do them for the aesthetic, which is fine. I got the season pass, so it's not like I paid really too much extra for this. I paid maybe $10 extra to buy the version that came with the free season pass.
Huh.
So I saved
That's
a fuck
like-
ton of money
yeah.
because the DLC is like $18 a piece.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I did the smart thing.
Yeah, sometimes it does pay off to.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm
do
happy
the
that I
thing.
got that. So that's what I did in terms of games. In terms of watching shit, I now how do I explain this? Well, I joined a really fun Discord server with some of my friends, and we've been, I guess, memeing cartoon shit at each other for like the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a whole bunch of new friends, which is nice. But I started watching a French animated series by Balak. Now, I don't know if anybody knows who Balak is. Do you know who Balak is?
Not even a little bit.
Okay, so Balak is a French cartoonist and artist and illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also an animator and animation director. But he's well known for a series he did called Last Man, which is this French animated action series that's kind of heavily inspired by stuff like Fist of the North Star. But it's really, really good.
Oh boy,
He
yeah, it
also
is.
he's a really, really great animator, and his
Oh,
stuff is great.
I
It's
think I've
really, really
seen
nice.
Last Man.
You might have seen the comics at the stores,
Yeah,
considering it's
something
kind
like
of big
that.
French comics.
Mm-hmm.
But and they're kind of sold in manga style little volumes, and they're all black and white. But Last Man is really good. Anyway, I watched something that he made for Black Pills, which is a streaming service, with a studio called Bobby Pills, which is, I guess, Black Pills, maybe their animation studio or something like that.
Yeah.
He made a sex positive sex ed cartoon
Oh yeah, you
for
told me about
adults, but it's all animals, and it's kind of, it has a very like children's show aesthetic, but everybody's dicks kind of out
this.
because
Ryan,
they're
did
animals
you
with
watch
no
furry
pain.
porn?
You know, yes. But I guess the intention behind the series is to kind of create an 18 plus cartoon about like sex ed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like sex ed themes to it, like, you know, they do it in terms of like it's a lot of physical slapstick pastiche comedy and stuff like that. And it's got kind of like Fooly Cooly type animation where it switches between different styles. Like it goes from kind of like shitty, like silly kind of 2D kids TV show to like hyper Sakuga anime type shit.
Yeah.
And it's got like all these different art styles. It's got like mixed media kind of vibes going for it. It's really funny. I can't recommend it to everybody because it is practically furry porn. So I don't know how interested many people would be in watching it, but if you have like a good sense of humor, it's got like, it's kind of like gross out humor, sexual
it called
humor. It's called Peepoodo and the Super Fuck Friends.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Super
Peepoodo
Fuck
and the Super
Friends.
Fuck Friends. It's in French, but there's like subtitled version of it in English.
Just like the animes.
Exactly. I mean, the French is fine. It's really funny. If you understand French, which both of us do, it should be okay. But it's really cute and
Oh,
funny.
that is 100% just furry porn.
I know.
Yep.
But it's
Alright.
very. I don't know how much I can really go into it in terms of selling it without somebody just watching it straight up.
Yeah.
But I'll explain the comedy as being a mix of gross out humor, sex humor, like kind of just like situational comedy, and a lot of like pastiche, because I don't know how many of you are familiar with like European comedy, but European comedy is very, very heavily centered on pastiche because it's derived from like European theater, which is like theater comedy in Europe is basically just everything is a parody of
Yeah.
something. Unless it's a total tragedy, mostly it's a parody. So parody and pastiche are very popular in European comedy, and so you get stuff like Peepoodo, which most of the comedy comes from them referencing something or it being like gross out humor, slapstick humor. There's a lot of slapstick and gross out humor in this show. I mean, there's
Super
an
Fuck Friends.
how do I describe an episode? There's an episode called Oktoberfest. I think it's episode 3. But the premise is that Peepoodo has a pen pal from Germany who comes over, and he's kind of like the main joke, I think, is that he's a pig, and his main quirk is that he's like a hypochondriac and like a germaphobe.
Okay, yeah.
But he also is into like scat shit. And so, like, the whole fucking episode, he's like, I threw you all an Oktoberfest. And then they're all drinking beer and literally just pissing and shitting on fucking everything.
Oh my
And then one of Peepoodo's friends sneezes on him by accident and he gets fucking offended. And he's like, germs, ew. So that's kind of the humor of it.
Fair enough.
But
Oh,
it's
there's an
it's a
Akira
very
shot right here.
yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And there's like an episode where Peepoodo gets addicted to like a Japanese like otome game. And he falls in love with like the girl in the otome game, and the girl like sucks him into the fucking game. But basically he's so addicted that he buys like one of those like virtual reality headsets and like one of those like VR like fleshlights that
Oh my
works in
God.
tandem with the fucking
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
So
the-
he gets addicted to masturbating to
synced
this shitty Japanese
pocket
hentai.
pussy.
Yeah, basically he gets addicted to fucking himself to like this anime fucking hentai game, and it's really funny. But yeah, so they have to go into the game and save him, and the doctor who's like the main person who like sexually educates everybody in the show, Dr. Lachette. She's
Yeah,
like a
the-
sexy cat
Yeah,
girl.
The focus of the show, if you will.
She's
I mean, yeah.
she's in every episode, but she only ever shows up to kind of like be the sex ed part of the
Yeah,
show.
but if you Google Peepoodo and you look in images, she's pretty much the only thing that pops up.
Oh yeah, she is intentional fur bait.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the show is intentional fur bait. But I want to say the thing that impresses me the most about the show, apart from the fact that it is so riotously funny considering what it is that it handles all of its like sex ed and like educating people on like social issues like gender and sex and stuff like that in like a really woke way.
Hmm.
Like there's an entire episode where Peepoodo and his friends are turned into dicks because they were ogling this girl who turned out to be like a witch. And so she turns them all into penises, and they have to go and like liberate the Amazon slaves from the dragon Patriarchus. But they liberate the Amazons, and then the Amazons are like, we're gonna lick you now that your penises have freed us. And they're just like, no, what about consent? And then they go on like a tangent about like how like reproducing patriarchal structures through the lens of like feminism is really toxic and harmful and just as bad as patriarchy, and that people shouldn't treat other people like sex objects, and that sort of shit. And I was like, wow, that was extremely fucking woke, and I can't believe that they just did that in like 7 seconds better than pretty much anybody else. And then there's an episode in which
sex ed.
there's an episode of Peepoodo in which one of the characters comes out as trans, and it's totally played straight and it's respectful and nobody laughs or makes like any sick or mean jokes about it. It's just the character is trans for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. And I'm like,
Moving
fucking
on.
awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I wish everything that had to deal with this was as respectful and frank.
Yeah.
So I admire the show's willingness to go there and to also go there well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Peepoodo and the Super Fuck Friends. It's not for everybody. Literally, if you cannot stomach like the idea of seeing animals with their fucking dicks out all the time, getting fucked and fucking each other, then this show is not for you. But if you want to watch,
if you're into that,
if you want to watch the most perverse fucking comedy that could have possibly ever been conceived, that also deals with shit sensitively and in an interesting and respectful manner, watch Peepoodo.
I might actually check it out because my curiosity is too strong.
It's really fucking
But
fun.
I'm also
I started watching it with my partner, and he was like, at first he was like, I don't want to watch this, and then we watched like 4 episodes, and he's like, the next day, can we watch more? And I'm like, yeah. So it's kind of one of those
Fucking
things where it's like,
outed as
you know,
a furry.
I pretty much am just like, yeah, I've stopped being fur adjacent at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty funny show, so
Oh,
I would highly recommend it. Also, of course, it's 18 plus. If you're under 18, don't
Yeah,
watch this.
Don't
Don't
do
watch
it.
this. It's pornography for the most part. Don't.
Don't show your
Or it's-
children this to
It's
teach them
very
about
NSFW, not for people under 18. Please don't watch this. I don't condone people under 18 consuming NSFW type material. So don't
Neither
do that.
does Tumblr.
Oh yes, and neither. That's a good segue for later.
Yeah.
But first we'll do your week.
Yeah. Was that you beat you finally beat Breath of the Wild though too?
Oh shit!
how was
Yes,
that?
I don't know how that totally slipped my mind. Yes, so last week I want to say maybe on Saturday night I was up pretty late and I was kind of like I was playing Skyrim for a bit and I was playing DC Superheroes and I'm like, I haven't touched Breath of the Wild in like a month and a half. So I went in and I'm like, I have all this, I have all my equipment, I have all the Guardian armor. Why don't I just go and power through Ganon's castle? And so I did. I teleported over to like a tower close by. I glided over pretty close, and then I just kind of went and did the gauntlet. I hid in a couple of places. I did it without even having to fight most of like the mini bosses that come before it, like the big Leo
just stealth
guys and
past it.
shit. I pretty much just stealth past a lot of that shit, and for the most part, I made it there relatively unscathed. I didn't have to use too many healing items. I didn't have to like break too many of my good weapons. But the good thing is, when you fight Ganon, the Master Sword like can't break, so you always are guaranteed a weapon if you have
really?
it.
That's
Yeah, which-
actually good.
Which is really nice because if the Master Sword broke while you were fighting Ganon, that would suck ass.
That's probably a thing that happened in like QA. Like
Yeah, and they were
someone
like,
was
maybe
hey,
let's
this
not do
fucking
that.
sucks.
Yeah, like I guess the people who go in there without a Master Sword, like
all I
you're
have is clubs.
yeah, so you'll be fucked. But if you have the Master Sword, you're guaranteed to have at least one item on you,
Yeah.
which is nice. And shield wise, I know you can get a Hylian shield which doesn't break, but I don't have that yet. So anyway, so what happens is the first phase of the Ganon fight. You go into the fortress. Ganon comes down. He's like this big spider type creature.
Yeah.
I guess he's like a big kind of biomechanical
Calamity Ganon.
magic spider. Yeah, he's called Calamity Ganon. He's this big biomechanical spider. He looks really aesthetically similar to the Ganon like blight bosses that you fight in the beasts, the guardian beasts. But essentially what he does is he's got a couple of phases to the fight. The first phase of the fight is he's kind of crawling on all fours all around, and the main idea is that you're supposed to just kind of avoid his attacks and kind of get up close to him when you can, and you can stun him at certain points. Then he starts climbing up on the walls, and what you have to do is you have to perfect guard against his attacks and redirect them back at him. And perfect guarding is hard when you're under stress. So
Yeah.
you have to perfect guard all his attacks and reflect them at him.
Is
and,
perfect guard like a frame perfect type of
Yeah, it
defense?
is.
Yeah,
It
okay.
absolutely is. So yeah, you perfect guard against his attacks. They redirect right back at him, and he'll fall down stunned. And then you do that a couple times. You get him down to about a quarter health, and then he'll start being invincible, and the only way to break the invincibility would be to perfect guard him.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to like absolutely do that to beat him in the fight. And then once that's done, you're transported out of the castle, and Zelda gives you the Bow of Light, and you have to fight this huge kaiju-sized fucking Ganon on horseback. He's like a big
Sick.
kaiju-sized warthog essentially.
Okay.
And he's not really hard. It's mostly like I don't even know if I'm sure about
Is
this,
that
but
a
I'm
Princess Mononoke reference?
yeah, it's kind of what it feels like actually, and even aesthetically because he's got all the corrupted fire around him and shit. But yeah, you're just kind of in Hyrule Field outside of the castle, and you it's not really hard this part of the game. Fighting Ganon, like Calamity Ganon, is a lot more difficult than fighting the big true form of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not entirely certain, but I think this part might be like unlosable, like you can't lose.
Just kind
but-
of like a victory lap.
Yeah, it's kind of what it feels like. You just have to hit these corrupted spots on him with the arrow. Like you just
The big
he'll
glowing red eyeballs.
well, they're big like white light circles basically.
Okay, yeah.
But what happens is like he'll shoot a big beam of fire, like a big kaiju beam,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the place where like the beam was like hitting, there'll be like smoke and like singed grass and shit, and you can go and glide up from like the updraft of the smoke from the fire, and then you as you drop down, you can take out your bow and slow time essentially, like you can whenever you drop down from the sky, and aim really, really precisely at the parts of him that you need to hit. But it's really, really fun. Sometimes you do it on horseback. Sometimes if you're close by, you do it there, and then like an eye opens up on his forehead. You shoot the eye because it's Zelda, and you've beaten him. But it's a pretty, it's just like a pretty fun little victory lap to kind of go through. But I'm really, really enjoying like just that whole part of the game. I liked the ending. I thought it was a really fun way to kind of end the story of the game, I guess. I still have a whole bunch of DLC to do, so I'm gonna get on that because I bought all the DLC packs for the game.
Yeah.
But suffice it to say, it was pretty rad. Like it was a really, really good time, and I had like an enjoyable time playing it. Like I loved beating Ganon in such like an epic, fun kind of manner. It makes me feel really powerful, and after all the shit I went through to like acquire all those items and to acquire all that special armor and all the making all the food perfect when I was cooking these perfect healing item foods, I don't know, it felt like a nice way to reward my effort, and I had a really good time.
On your list of Zelda game tier.
I think all in all, Breath of the Wild is probably my. I really like Breath of the Wild. It's not my favorite Zelda game. It's my favorite 3D Zelda game by far, without any like question in my mind. It's my favorite 3D Zelda. As far as Zelda goes, my favorite Zelda is Link to the Past. I love that game.
That's a fucking good one.
It's like a perfect game in my opinion. Like it's just. I want to say specifically the Game Boy Advance port of the game is just a perfect game.
That was the first really real time I got to play it. Also, was that because I'd played it in passing at friends' houses and stuff, but
yeah, on like the
we
Super
never owned
Nintendo.
it. Yeah, but one of my birthdays, or was it Christmas? I think it was my birthday actually. My stepdad came back from like working a construction site or whatever, and just handed me this little, the weird like carrier case that the Game Boy SP came
Oh
in.
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? A camera? And I opened it up and I was like, whoa, it's a Game Boy Advance SP.
And it had the fucking.
It had a Link to the Past in it, and I was like, yes.
Nice. That's my first Game Boy was an SP as well, so I had the red one. I guess you probably had the red one too.
Yeah. No, mine was silver.
Oh, silver.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got the silver one.
But it gave me a love for red handheld consoles because all my 3DSs have since been red.
Yeah, well, most of the 3DSs were like, I think standard red, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I like that standard red. Like it's
Yeah.
my favorite shade of red, like
I
the
like-
kind of almost burgundy dark red.
Yeah, I really like the I like white consoles, or not consoles, fucking handhelds. I
Yeah,
don't
white
know
handhelds
why.
are nice. The pristine kind of look to it.
Yeah.
Like if I gotten like one of those Game Boy Colors when they came out, I'd get the red one. Like that's just how I
Yeah.
am. But yeah. So I'm really, really,
Fuck.
I'm really, really keen on the game. I liked it a lot. Not my favorite Zelda, but my favorite 3D Zelda without question. Just, I like some of the 3D Zelda games. I mean, of course, I like Ocarina of Time. I like Majora's Mask. I've played both of them and beaten both of them multiple times.
Yeah.
And my favorite 3D Zelda apart from this is Wind Waker. Like, it's this is the first 3D Zelda I have loved since Wind Waker.
Yeah. That's
I
what was
love
gonna say,
Wind Waker
'cause
so much. It is
haven't
like
gotten to
aesthetically my favorite.
I haven't gotten to play Breath of the Wild that much. Like I've played it at friends' houses. I don't own a Switch yet,
Yeah, okay.
so I've gotten to experience some of it, and I think it's really fun. But I
Mhm.
think Wind Waker still sits at the top for me, even with the fucking Triforce hunting bullshit.
Yeah, even the Triforce hunting doesn't deter me from calling that a great game.
Yeah,
There's parts of it, of course, that kind of feel incomplete because, like, it's clear there was meant to be like at least one or two more dungeons.
yeah,
But I honestly don't give a shit. I like it. Like, it's a good game. It's fun. It's epic. Sailing around the Great Sea is really fun.
yeah.
I really like that game.
the music is great.
Oh,
Also. I
totally.
think that's probably one of the stronger points of that game too. Is
Oh, the
aesthetically,
score.
the cell shading, and the OST is just so goddamn good.
Yeah, it's amazing. The reorchestrated version of the OST that they did for the HD remake.
Yeah,
Holy
so good.
fuck. Amazing. Like, it made me so happy. My favorite dungeon music is in that game. It's the music for the Earth Temple where it's all like didgeridoo
Yeah,
and
yeah,
percussion. So fucking good. It's so good. That game kicks ass.
Top
But yeah,
tier OST.
Breath of the Wild has a really good OST as well, but it's a lot of incidental and environmental tracks
Mhm.
that kind of switch seamlessly between like area music and like almost like ambiance. So
Yeah.
it's a different kind of soundtrack that doesn't make it amazing. It's kind of like the chill anime beats to study to of Zelda soundtracks.
Yeah.
But I really,
more,
really like
background
how it
music
sounds.
than anything.
Yeah, it's underscoring, like
Yeah.
it's not this bombastic huge soundtrack, but the moments where it really shines, like when you go to the Rito village
Yeah.
and
yeah.
the really cute lamentful beautiful version of Dragon Roost Island starts playing and you're like, "Oh, so good." So and like the Zora's Domain music kind of slowly creeping in when you go to the Zora's Domain, like it's like, "Fuck yes, this is awesome." And I love how huge the game is. Like this is the biggest open world game I have ever played, like hands down.
Mhm.
It's massive. I mean, like previously, I'll admit I don't have too much experience with open world games because I've never had many consoles that supported great open world games. But like in terms of all the open world games I've played, like Skyrim, of course, being one of my favorite games, it has a great open world and I enjoy exploring it. But it's not even fucking half as big as fucking Breath of the Wild.
Mhm.
Like I could circumnavigate Skyrim in a matter of like maybe 10 or 12 in-game days. But like fucking Breath of the Wild is so big. The first thing I did when I played the game, like after I got off the plateau, I spent 2 or 3 weeks mapping the whole fucking map. Like I
Jesus.
went everywhere. I found every
Just,
tower.
like, finding the towers and the caves and shit.
Yeah, I found every tower and I found most of the shrines. And then after I had found all of them, I went and I did all of them. But I started off the game by basically just finding everything,
Yeah.
mapping the whole game, drinking in the environment, getting caught up in some really tough fights because I just wasn't strong enough yet.
Mhm.
But no, like it was really, really fun, and just like the risk of exploring all these things and seeing all these sites kind of occur and like creeping past big bosses so I didn't have to fight them while I was mapping, and then going back to them after and fighting them and finding all these little hidden villages, which I'm still finding shit in the game even now. Like I didn't find everything when I mapped. Like I remember like almost like 5 or 6 months after I had finished like getting the whole map open, like I got all the areas open,
Yeah.
I found just a fishing village that I didn't know existed,
Yeah,
like a
still
whole
just walking around
new
being
town.
like, what the fuck is this?
I was looking and I'm like, what? When
Yeah.
did this come here? So that was pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still finding shit like that all throughout the game, like little secret areas and like shit like that. It's so cool. I love that game.
Good
It's
game.
it's really like good game. It's an exercise in what Nintendo is capable of doing when they want to go all in on making like an
Yeah.
open world
And
type
it's
game.
really
They
rad,
can
too,
do
that
it.
it was like their first really open world game, and
Oh
they
yeah.
did it so well.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
totally.
they've
Like
just been sitting back and like looking at other open world games for years and being like, we're gonna
I
do
want
it
to say
like
like
this.
the most like open world Zelda previously had been like Twilight Princess, which has a very
Empty.
disappointing overworld. It's just a really big overworld. It's not even necessarily an open world. It's just a really, really big empty overworld, and it kind of sucks to traverse. And I kind of wish that that game was like the size of Ocarina of Time in terms of how condensed everything is.
Yeah.
Like Ocarina of Time had previously, I think, just like the perfect sized, quote
Yeah,
unquote,
everything
open
was
world.
far away enough that like you could do an entire day cycle because it's the only like time that it would change is when you were outside.
Yeah,
Like it didn't take too long for night and day cycle to change, but also like nothing was too far away that if you were like rushing to get somewhere before the night cycle started, that you wouldn't make it.
exactly. And like the night and day cycle helped to make the game feel like a lot bigger than it actually is
Yeah.
because it makes every journey feel a little longer.
Hmm.
Even though it's just artificial and it only takes like 5 minutes for like a night and day cycle to pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's true. Just like so many aspects of like Breath of the Wild fix a lot of problems I've had with previous 3D Zeldas. Like the gameplay is so much fucking better than any of the previous 3D Zeldas, even Wind Waker, which pretty much just plays like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. I don't like the weapon. Like the fact that you can break weapons.
Oh, really? I like
Yeah,
that.
I like it in
I
some games, but for a Zelda game, but I mean it's like it's a step forward. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just usually
It annoys you.
it's a negative for me in most games. Yeah.
I'd say I agree with that for the most part, but I don't know. I played this game kind of in the mentality that I would play something like Dark Souls, which I
Yeah.
still have not received/played yet, but I will. I'm getting on that. But I kind of played it in the sense that I'm like, I get it. This is just kind of a way for them to kind of push you to go further and further, and it actually helped motivate me. I didn't find it disheartening the way like maybe some like even like a Mega Man level sometimes will feel for me, where it's like this is just punishing, or
Yeah.
like one of the early Castlevanias where the levels are just like this isn't a fair difficulty because the controls are and like the mechanics of the game are making it unfair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's not how I feel in this game. Like I feel everything is scaled
Oh
so
my
that
God.
everything is a fair fight. It's a fair conflict. You just need to know what you're doing. And I really like that. Like I have full knowledge of how to play a Castlevania game, but those early fucking Castlevania games, mechanics aside and knowledge of how they work aside, it'll still fuck you over. So that I think
Yeah.
is unfair difficult. But Breath of the Wild and with the breakable items, that shit never phased me, I guess, because it was just like, hey, this doesn't feel unfair, and I don't feel cheated, which is I hate it when a game feels like I've been cheated by it.
Yeah, for sure. It's not a great feeling.
So what about your week there, buddy?
My week consisted of not much really. Actually, like I don't know, a lot, but also not that much. It feels like not that much. I got super sick this Monday, so
Mm.
everything's been kind of weird and hazy. I'm like just now getting back from it. Yesterday was the worst of it, but it's still pretty rough today. So
Okay,
that's been not fun.
that's a mood.
I streamed a bit more of Darksiders 2.
So how's that going exactly?
That game is fucking frustrating, man.
I know it's very jank.
It is super jank. It had a very rushed development cycle, so there's still a bunch of bugs.
I've heard.
The boss fights.
And from what I understand, Darksiders 3 is not any different.
No, I've heard Darksiders 3 is like lining up to be pretty fucking good, which excites me.
I've heard it's got some jank in it.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I feel THQ Nordic has a jank factor. I all I've heard is that it's less bad than 2 and it's more fun, like character-wise and stuff. But the whole reason for me playing 2 is so that I can pick up 3. I've just been hearing that 3 is good, and that's good because I like the Darksiders series, even for all 2's shortcomings and disappointing boss fights and lack of iframes. Which is one of the most frustrating things, honestly. Like the dodge button is mapped to a bumper button, and I haven't been able to change that to the trigger button like I'd like it to be. And the iframes are so weird. Like it seems like sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, which might actually just be what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
One of the bosses that I fought over the weekend, like he has this spin move that you need to jump away, like you need to roll from like 4 times to not get hit at all. But you only have 3 rolls before like his stamina runs out, I guess, and he just has a few frames where he can't move. The iframes are so small or like so short that you can't really calculate when to dodge away to like be out of range, and like that move pretty much hits you every time. The the writing is kind of dumb in that like the boss that I just fought got turned into a boss by a crystal.
Oh, okay.
So like we had to go find a heartstone to awaken a giant big Shadow of the Colossus type monster, and like all the crystals so far were blue. That one was green. It turned a like weird rock golem thing into an enemy. That was like the rock golem was previously a friend. It turned it into an enemy, and that was that boss fight. That is super frustrating. And as soon as you finish that boss fight, they're like, I don't know about this stone. We better do it anyway. And it's like, no. Clearly, it's the reason that the thing started attacking you. And then they're like, oh, here we go. Put it in the big fucking rock, the big guardian thing. And then he's like, hey, you were right. It doesn't matter. It didn't change anything. He's like, no, I was wrong. And then it just goes and fucks up the entire village and shit. And then it's in like the weird overworld open part of the map. And you have to go fucking Shadow of the Colossus fight it. And that's where I am right now. I was like,
I heard that
doing this.
is the open world in the game kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's just kind of very big, but it's meant to just kind of be drunk in.
Yeah, like I feel like it's more. I guess it kind of is Shadow of the Colossus-y, but it's not that big. It's just like the roads to the actual levels so far, anyway, have just been like very straight and narrow. It's just like it's a path. There's not really an open world. It's more just like your objective is at the end of this hallway. The place where you ride your horse is also just kind of like, here's the boss door. Here's the 3 dungeons you have to do before you can open the boss door. And it's like, I don't know. It seems very lazy, and I don't know. I'm not saying it's a terrible game, but it's not a great game. I've had so many bugs that are just hilarious that I've been clipping on Twitch because you just gotta. But yeah, I'm continuing that because I do want to beat it and then go on to 3.
Oh boy.
Which is apparently much better, which is exciting. Apart from that, Monday night I streamed Outlast and finally beat it.
Yeah.
Outlast 2. I don't think I picked the best games to play this month. Honestly, a very confusing ending. We got to see fully modeled childbirth though.
Oh.
Which was shocking and kind of out of nowhere.
Were you prepared for it?
No, I didn't know it happened, and it just kind of like happened. It
happened at you.
Yeah, it happened at me.
Not with your total knowledgeable consent.
I mean, the lead up was kind of like, yeah, okay, the baby is coming, but she just kind of lays down on a table, gives birth in like 30 seconds. The baby's out. So it wasn't a long process, but it was a very graphic one. And then she just fucking dies.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so pretty much what happens, like, there's flashbacks to the school. You grew up in like a super religious school, a Catholic school, I guess, where the priests teach and stuff. So there's
Yeah.
flashbacks there. Those are the best sequences in the game. Most high tension. Most I don't know what's going on. I'm actually afraid. Then you've got the like running sequences that are mostly in Hillbilly Helltown, which aren't that scary. They're very like streamlined, kind of hard to fuck up, I found, but I did fuck them up a couple of times. But
Yeah.
yeah. So the story goes through. You find your wife, which is the main like goal. She is pregnant, but you didn't know. Like she seemingly goes from not pregnant to 9 months pregnant
Yeah.
within the span of the game. So just religious magic, I guess. She does the whole giving birth thing. She dies. Then the religious leader is like, "Oh, she gave birth, and now everything's fucked," and he kills himself. And then you just kind of walk out to Hillbilly Hell, where everyone else has also killed themselves. And then you sit down with your newborn child, and you have a flashback to you and your old friend like playing in the school. And then it ends, and I was like, I maybe missed something. Like it's not a great ending to the game, but it was fun. It was scary. At least there was that. Also did a lot of Bravely Default.
Yes. How is that going?
That's going good. I got where was I last time we talked about it?
You had to go to see Yoyana on foot through the forest, the
Okay,
miasma forest.
So yeah, I got the Huntress asterisk.
Yeah, from the little furry girl.
Yeah, the little furry girl. I also put on the Japanese voice acting just to see, and Ring a Bell sounds so much cooler in Japanese.
He does. He's not as foppish.
Yeah.
But I think later on in the story, you'll see why I like the foppish direction his character's in afterwards.
That's fair. I
You'll
don't hate it.
see,
It's just
you'll see
he's-
why he's like that. I
Yeah,
think.
I don't hate that his voice is like that in English. It's just the Japanese voice is so much more Jotaro. So I think it's funny, just the contrast between the two. But I swapped it back to English because I like understanding what they're saying without always having to read. Also,
Yeah, that's a mood.
yeah. So I made it till Yuliana. She got the thing, the Vestal garb. Then,
Yeah.
we booked it back to Florum, did the contest. Everyone laughed at her.
So it'd be that way.
Yeah, it'd be that way as fuck. I also got the Valkyrie asterisk after that, which I really fucking like the look of on Ring a Bell.
Yeah, the Valkyrie asterisk is pretty much just the dragoon,
Yeah,
like from Final Fantasy, like a dragoon archetype.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you got
yeah.
all them spears.
spears and big old jump attacks.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. I love
like
that
the
shit.
design. It looks like a fucking Sentai. mixed
It
with, like,
honestly
a
does
dragoon.
almost look kind of like a Sentai kind of warrior.
Yeah.
With like the full helmet and armor. It looks really rad.
Yeah, I fucking like it. So
It's a good design.
I switched Ring a Bell to that, but kept Chivalry on his second, so he can keep his big armor attack.
Yeah, the big armor attacks are good, and he's got like some pretty mad defense, I guess.
Yeah, he's in the triple digits.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So you're doing pretty good with Ring a Bell.
Yeah, Ring a Bell. Like I haven't gotten a game over solely because of Ring a Bell being fucking
Like-
nigh impossible to kill.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's really really cool. No, Ring a Bell kicks ass.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character from the series too, and you'll see why. But I mean, apart from just him being kind of like a goofster,
Yeah.
he's actually
fucking goofball, I love
he's a fucking tank, and you will see later on why.
Mhm.
You got so much shit coming up in this game, my
I know,
boy.
I can sort of feel the build up now, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of twists coming your way.
Where am I right now actually?
Are you nearly done Florum?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm done Florum because we did the contest to be like, "Hey, vessel of water, where the fuck are you?" And then she sends the
okay.
message is like, "Come find me in these spooky caves," which I'm pretty sure is a trap.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I figured.
But you're gonna have a good time, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're right now. I'm navigating the
The
that
caves.
dungeon.
Nice. So you're almost there. That's like
Yeah.
the bone caves, isn't it?
Uh,
It's all kind of, or is it the city that's like the
Um,
abandoned ancient city? It's one
I
of the
think
two.
it's the ancient city, the one with the doors that you have to like hit crystals to make. The
Yeah. Okay, it's like it's the ruins of like the water
yeah.
place. Okay, I know what that place is.
Yeah,
Neat.
yeah. So that's where I am. Also, regrettably watched. What is it called? I don't know why I want to talk about this. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it. It doesn't.
What was it?
It doesn't deserve. It's an Amy Schumer movie.
Oh, Trainwreck?
No, I feel pretty.
Oh, nah. Mm.
It's essentially just Shallow Hal except on yourself.
Yeah, that's
Um,
I don't like Amy Schumer. I don't
Me either.
Is that a I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people are pretty cold on Amy Schumer.
Yeah,
But her
it's
comedy is
definitely not a hot
really
take.
she's kind of like, you know what Sarah Silverman kind of used to be like before she actually got woke?
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of that. Where like her
My
whole aesthetic
vagina's
is,
stinky. Okay.
and I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's funny for
Yeah.
the first like, it's funny the first time you see her like do a stand-up special, and you're like, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But she's also, I don't know, like she's, wow, trying to get on my SJW bullshit again. But I also feel like for somebody who's not
Good.
actually that, I don't know, it's not like she's a queer woman. It's not like she's experiencing any oppression apart from like the fact that she's a woman. She doesn't have a lot to talk about. And so whenever she goes on kind of like, huh, isn't it shitty when guys do this? I'm like, yeah, but guys do a lot worse to other people. You're
Yeah.
just kind of getting the best of it. You're also like
Well, I mean,
rich.
I don't think it should invalidate it. I just the way she goes about it is weird. The movie, since we're fucking in it anyway, the movie fucking starts off pretty low, and she's like, "I wish I was a pretty girl so bad," and then she gets a fucking concussion at a like spin class,
Okay.
and like she gets knocked the fuck out, and the spin class, instead of doing a fucking normal thing like calling an ambulance, they just bring her into the bathroom and wait for her to wake up. And then they're like,
Wow.
"Hey, are you all right?" And she like wakes up and is like, her body hasn't changed at all, but her vision of herself has, I guess. So she sees herself as being hot and having abs and shit. She's like, "Look at my legs! Oh my god, my abs!" And instead of doing,
Way to make light of a concussion,
yeah, instead of
which is
doing
a really
anything-
serious thing.
instead of doing anything and being like, "Whoa, you're acting really weird. Maybe we should call an ambulance." The girl's like, "All right, I'm gonna go back to the front desk now." And it's like, she clearly hit her
This
head
is
fucking hard.
This is really stupid.
Yeah, so immediately I was like, all right, fuck this. This is
I hate the idea too that like somebody with serious self-esteem issues just has to hit their head really fucking hard to get like another perspective on their body.
yeah.
That's a little stupid and
But-
bad.
Yeah, and like the thing too is like it's still Amy Schumer. She doesn't have abs, but she sees herself as having abs, and she's like, "Whoa, they're so hard. I can see them. They're so cool." And like they drive that really hard. They're like, she thinks
She's
she looks
got
different.
she's got like a belly, but she
Yeah.
thinks she has abs, and I'm like, she's not even got
Yeah.
that much of a belly.
And
Oh,
anyway,
damn.
then her self-confidence goes sky high, and she just starts acting like she runs all the bullshit because she thinks she's hot. And then everyone thinks she's hot because, wow, she's so confident, even though she's looks not conventionally hot.
I hate this notion too that she's not conventionally attractive, as if like
Yeah.
being like 20 pounds heavier than most people in Hollywood makes you not conventionally attractive. She's such a frustrating person. She's like
I
Jennifer
know.
Lawrence, where she's like, look at how
God.
non-conventionally attractive I am, and then everybody
Jennifer
looks at her
Lawrence.
like she's really conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
You're literally like a model? Question
And like,
mark?
look at me, I'm plus sized. You're like 10 pounds heavier than the average person in Hollywood. Calm the fuck down.
Please, ma'am, you're embarrassing.
It's yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what it's like. It's like, please shut the fuck up.
Anyway.
Like, there are actors who are genuinely, not conventionally attractive that don't get any fucking work, and you get all this work, so fuck off.
Yeah.
You know?
You're the
Go
hotness
fuck.
of the moment for some reason.
Like the actors who can only play like the weird person because they look
Yeah.
a certain way, and like they're, of course, because they look this way, they're clearly not worthy of playing like a romantic lead
Steve
or
Buscemi.
anything like that because they don't look conventionally attractive. But you know, if all these fucking people who say that they don't and yet get roles as romantic leads and shit like that, or write roles for themselves as romantic leads that people totally buy,
Oh fuck.
like it's if people are buying it, okay, you're conventionally attractive. I don't know what the fuck to say.
Yeah.
It's like if people can see, like, yeah, I buy Amy Schumer as like their lead in a romantic comedy, and I'm like, yeah, of course you do, because she looks like a leading actress.
Yeah. Or
I
what was
don't-
that fucking horrible Netflix show?
There's a lot of them. Which one?
Yeah, that was a vague question. It kind of did the same thing where it was like, oh, this awkward girl who's a little overweight and looks not like the popular girls gets confused as a super hot girl by some super hot dude, and they only have to
Oh.
talk on the phone, and he falls in love with her, but she's just fucking shitting all over him, or not.
Is that the one with? It's what's her name? Shannon Purser from
fuck, dude, I
from
didn't-
Stranger Things.
my
Barb.
partner. Oh, maybe.
I think it's Barb from Stranger Things.
Maybe. But anyway, my partner watched it, like a little bit of it, and I just heard it in the background. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm tuning out.
It's just kind of silly. Like I don't know how much I buy that.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, knowing a lot of people who I do know who aren't conventionally attractive and struggle with their self-esteem. I'm sure seeing like a bunch of people who are fucking huge in Hollywood who are for the most part pretty conventionally attractive playing roles like that must kind of feel like a slap in the fucking face. I know it
Yeah.
does to me because I don't consider myself conventionally attractive, and I do consider these people conventionally attractive, and seeing them play themselves off as people with self-esteem issues kind of seems like a slap in the face. Like IRL they might have self-esteem issues, but that's not the character they're playing.
Yeah.
So
Oh, God.
I don't know, I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it.
I know. It's
Ah,
really
it's
shit.
ridiculous.
But needless to say, the movie continues to be fucked up. She gets another concussion and then stops seeing herself as hot, and then just ducks all responsibilities because she was convinced everyone saw her in like a super hot body. She like even goes to her friends and is like, "Don't scream. I know you don't recognize me, but it's me. It's your friend." And it's like, how are you this dumb?
That's ridiculous.
She ends up, anyway, it turns into the whole like, oh, I forgot, or like I didn't know that everyone was seeing me as normal,
Oh god.
and yeah, it just turns into this like whole, the beauty was inside me all along. It's like, how many more movies like this do we need?
Jesus fuck. Just
But anyway,
obnoxious.
not to spend too long on fucking Amy Schumer's shit movie.
let's just hit up the news,
Yeah,
I
let's go on to
guess.
the news, because
There's a bunch
something
of shit.
dropped today.
Yes.
Zarya finally got a legendary skin that makes sense.
That thank fuck, because she's gotten nothing that actually makes her look interesting.
No, but now she does. She's got a little bear hat. I'll send it to you right now. This like was just posted not long ago.
I think I scrolled through it on Twitter. Yeah, that's
I
cute.
love it.
Positively first, Snowbird or Zarya. That makes sense
Yeah.
because she's from Russia.
So
She probably
finally,
snowboards.
The only good skin she had before this was like the weightlifting one, but even that was just like a lazy.
Yeah, it's lazy because she's a big strong girl.
Mhm.
Well, now she's a big strong
now
girl
she's a
who
big,
also
strong girl.
has a really cute outfit.
Yes, finally. Okay, so that's a small one. We can scroll past that now.
Okay. So, Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures. Do you know anything about this?
I do not.
'Kay,
Yes,
s-
actually, I do. This is the like condensed trilogy, right? That is.
Yeah,
being
so basically
reanimated.
it's a bunch of moments from the original trilogy or from movies like Solo where they kind of take a scene from those movies
yeah.
and they animate to it. So they keep the original dialogue and performance from the actors, but they
Oh, I
animate
did
this
not
they
know
animate
about
the scene
that.
into something completely new. Yeah, it's not like they cast new actors for the roles. Like there's no new dialogue. It's all dialogue
Shit.
taken from the films, but it's done in this really cool kind of almost 80s anime inspired art style,
Yeah.
and it looks really really great. Like there's a really good Star Wars graphic novel that came out that tells the story of the original trilogy in kind of one big volume,
Yeah.
and it looks like this, kind of like an 80s anime. And I think this is kind of the idea is they're reanimating these scenes from the original trilogy to play them, I guess, on the interstice between shows or something, like on
Yeah.
Disney, whatever the new version of Disney XD is called.
Disney
But
XDX.
suffice it to say, it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really
Like,
nice. And
the
see,
ani-
that's
the
not
animation's
what I thought
beautiful.
they were doing at all. I thought they were just making a like web series or something that was just going to be the condensed story.
No,
Just
it's like
reanimated.
select kind of like the greatest hits scenes from the original trilogy,
Yeah.
animated too, which is a really neat idea. I'm wondering if maybe they'll give like more art styles a try, like if like they'll like do some other scenes in like a different art style.
Kinda like an
But even if
Animatrix thing.
yeah, exactly. But even if this remains an animatrix style Star Wars film would be fucking awesome.
Aw,
Thank you for
dude.
putting that idea into my mind.
It's out there. That's free.
Holy shit, that would be so cool. Please
Yeah.
do this, Disney. Get a whole bunch of animators to come in and do a little short story.
A
And the
bunch
Star
of
Wars,
different animators.
Ugh.
Oh my god. Yeah, and like,
that would be so good.
but I want kind of in the same. Well, I mean, obviously in the same vein as Animatrix, just condensed stories that don't really have a bearing on the actual film.
Yeah, of course.
Just separated stories.
Set in the world, yeah,
Set in the
with
world.
characters outside of the main characters.
Yeah, because I'm sick of these fucking Skywalkers and their bullshit.
Have you seen the Batman movie that does that? Batman Gotham Knight.
I have not.
It's basically the Animatrix but with Batman, where it tells a bunch of different Batman stories but from different animation studios. One of them is straight up just a Batman anime, but there's like a whole bunch of Japanese studios. There's a Madhouse one, there's a Production IG one.
Oh fuck.
But it's really, really cool. The Madhouse one actually looks like a classic comic, which is really neat. Like it has an art style that's really similar to like 70s Batman comics. But it's like a Batman story about Batman fighting Deadshot. It's really great. But you'd like that actually. You should watch Gotham Knight. It's just like 6 or 7 really good anime style Batman shorts.
I'll have to check that out.
It's really fucking good, dude. But yeah, no, anime Star Wars is leaning into its anime kind of inspiration and aesthetics now, I think, because even the new Star Wars TV series that they're doing that isn't this, it's Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah.
Looks very much like an anime. It's got anime aesthetics going for it in its character design. Although it's like a cel shaded CG show, it has kind of this anime look to like the faces and stuff like that, which is really
a lot
cool.
of like things seem to be leaning into anime inspired animation. Like you have Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
They
Castlevania
did
totally.
it.
I mean, Castlevania just looks 90s anime.
Yeah.
It looks really fucking
You got
good.
this
With like
now.
all the style of in-betweens and stuff that they do looks really similar. It's rad. That shit is really fucking cool.
It is.
And then there's oh yeah, Yu Yamamoto does. Speaking of
Yeah.
anime,
At 71.
yeah. So I don't know if anybody really knows about Yu Yamamoto. I guess probably one of like the most well-regarded writers of mecha stuff. I want to say he's best known for some of the early script writing he did for Gundam, but he
Yeah,
wrote 11
he did.
episodes of the original Gundam TV series, and he wrote the script for like the Mobile Suit Gundam movie trilogy, which is the condensed version of the original anime they did in 3 movies.
Yeah.
Which is still, I think, in my opinion, those 3 movies are the best way to experience the original Gundam trilogy, like the original story of the Gundam series.
Mhm.
Like this Gundam 79.
Yeah.
He also wrote like a whole bunch of famous like mecha TV anime, including the J9 series, which is Galaxy Cyclone Breaker and Galaxy Cyclone Gale Backsinger and Galaxy Whirlwind Sasuraiger, which are all really, really fucking good, kind of cool mecha anime. And then he was currently working on Galaxy Divine Wind Jinraiger, which is the I don't know how to I guess it's like the newest installation or installment in that series.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was known for writing like I mean his script writing goes for like a whole bunch of stuff. Time
Yeah.
Bokan, Yatterman, Urusei Yatsura, Gatchaman 2.
Grim Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah, Polymar, Ninja Hattori Kun, Grim Masterpiece Theater is amazing.
And
A whole bunch of stuff. And Zendar Man too, which is one of my favorite stuff.
I
So
I thought Angie Girl was something better or something different, not better.
but yeah, he's a really, really, really cool dude and a great writer. And it's a shame that I think he was one of mecha anime's best,
Yeah.
like and most prolific script writers. And he wrote a couple of my favorite anime. Like he wrote for Urusei Yatsura, Yatterman, and Palomar, which are all some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Those are really in Time Bokan too, which is another one that I really like. So yeah, that's a shame. And of course, MSG. I love Mobile Suit Gundam, especially the Universal Century stuff, which he pretty much exclusively
He
wrote
did some
for.
Ultraman scripts too.
Yes, he did. He was a very notable screenwriter for
Yeah.
the time. So that's a big loss, I think, for the world of screenwriting and anime.
Yeah. Is 71 like I can't is 71 young now or is it not?
I think
I think
You
it's
know
like
what-
an acceptable.
that's a pretty acceptable way to die, considering most people seem to be dying at 69, something like that
Yeah.
nowadays. But which is kind of sad. I don't want to think about people dying at
Yeah.
69. But yeah, like he lived a long life and he wrote for a lot of prolific stuff. He was a very influential writer.
Yeah.
And
his
I think some of
legacy
his
will be remembered.
Yeah, he did the impossible and condensed Mobile Suit Gundam 79 into a 3-movie trilogy.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to translate a Monster of the Week style show into a coherent trilogy of movies that tell like one story devoid of like the Monster of the Week formula? That is a fucking writing effort.
And he pulled it off.
Yeah, he did a really
Fairly
good
fucking
job.
Well.
So yeah, he deserves like all the praise for that. So yeah, that was really impressive. Now, I guess there's more to say about that Square Enix Avengers game. Is there?
No, nothing has really come out. There was supposed to maybe be something happening this week.
This week,
which
Marvel
ended up
wise,
being Miss
a
Marvel.
new the new
Marvel.
Captain Marvel trailer.
Yeah, the Captain Marvel trailer dropped.
Which-
But there was so essentially there was just rumors of something was supposed to happen. And some people were like, "Oh, is it gonna be the fucking Square Enix Avengers game? Is it?
No.
Is it?" And then it didn't. But
What do you think of Captain Marvel?
The trailer's fucking good. I'm super
I
hyped
think-
for that.
I think this movie looks really cool. It's kind of got a bit of like a like the long kiss goodbye kind of vibe going for it,
Yeah.
where it's about somebody whose like life has been rewritten and they have to kind of rediscover what their past was before they had their memory and mind tampered
Yeah.
with.
You
But
come from
I don't
a
know
long
how
line of assassins who fight
Yeah.
other assassins.
familiar you are with Captain Marvel as a character.
Not very. Besides that, her powers are essentially very OP.
Yeah, so she's an alien super soldier
Yeah.
who got like powers from basically being injected with Kree DNA. And so the Kree are like a race of kind of alien super beings who in a lot of like Marvel stuff, they're kind of like a conquering race and they go around kind of colonizing other planets and generally kind of being assholes. And some of like the most notable villains in Marvel lore are Kree, like Ronan the Accuser, who is the
Yeah.
villain of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a Kree, and he's a literal genocidal maniac. But there are some Kree superheroes, and the Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, was a Kree who landed on Earth and basically became like an Earth superhero.
Yeah.
And then his like female counterpart, Miss Marvel, was Carol Danvers, and she was basically accidentally given Kree DNA, and she became Miss Marvel. Then Marvel gave up the mantle of Captain Marvel, and she took over in the comics. It seems like she's going to be the original Captain Marvel in this,
Mhm.
but it seems like the premise of this is that she like crash landed by accident while testing like a new aircraft in like Kree territory or something, and that they kidnapped her and like remade her into a Kree super soldier, which is really rad. And she's part of this group of Kree assassins and warriors called Star Force, who are led in this by Marvel, who's being played by Jude Law. But
Jesus.
even like Ronan the Accuser is part of this team. So is Korath the Pursuer, who's like the guy that Jaimon Hansu played in the first Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. So it seems like they're going all in with the Kree lore, which is really rad. And I don't know, just like the way that they were showing her using her powers, like flying through space like a bolt of like light and fucking shooting lasers out of her hands
Mhm.
and fighting like an entire space fleet on her own is just like, this is the kind of shit that I love about this character. She is
Yeah.
a total kind of pulp superhero with like sci-fi kind of very classic like 1960s 1950s kind of space hero, and I love that sort of shit. I love that aesthetic. I love her costume, which has like this amazing cool looking helmet.
Yeah.
She's great. She's
I
a
think my
really great
favorite part
character.
of the entire trailer is just boarding New York Metro and punching old lady in the face.
I think it's actually the BART in San Francisco.
Oh,
But
that might be it.
but yeah, like yeah, her like beating the shit out of an old lady. Oh yeah, and the enemies of the movie Kree are the Skrull, who are the Kree's like the Kree's enemies, and I think you probably know who the Skrull are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like very iconic Marvel villains. And I think introducing them into the world is going to be really cool because that means like they might be setting up for the Secret Invasion, which is like the storyline where Skrulls kind of shapeshift and take over a bunch of people, like notable people. Yeah, they're kind of like, you know, they're alien shapeshifters who like defeat entire nations through subterfuge and basically systemically taking out and taking control of like their governments.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really fucking awesome. I can't wait to see how this kind of conflict arises within the story. I think it's going to be a really interesting movie. Yeah, it's coming out. It's the next Marvel movie to come out, actually.
March. It's in March.
Yeah. So it's coming out basically around when Black Panther came out.
Fuck. Speaking of which, sorry to cut you off, but Enter the Spider-Verse is coming out super soon.
Very
Do
soon.
you
Which
wanna hit that up with me?
yeah, I'd love to actually. That would be a really good time, I think, and we're both hyped to see that movie.
Hell yeah, we is.
I think yeah, we should hit that up together. That'd be fucking.
Good. We can discuss.
That's
that
gonna be
later.
really, really good. Yeah, for sure. That'll be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that's coming out real soon. That's like in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Actually,
That's really
yeah,
good. No,
yeah, like 2 weeks, I think.
I'm hyped to see that
14th,
shit.
So
14th. Fuck, that's so soon.
yeah.
No, I'm hyped
It's
to see
about a
that.
week. Shit.
I'm very excited to watch that.
Yeah. Are you excited to get your replacement Fallout 76 nylon bag?
This is some shade right here.
I fucking am so happy
That's I
about Fallout 76 since its announcement. I was like, not gonna play it. Curious to see how bad this is gonna go.
yeah, and it's
this is
bad.
Outside of the game being bad, the game could be good, and this would still be a shit show. If the game was good, though, I don't think they would be sending out replacement bags.
God.
I'm gonna say that right now. Like, if the game was successful and people enjoyed it, they'd be like, "Fuck you, deal with these garbage bags that we lied about." But since the game is so garbage and shit, they're like, "Oh man, they back down super hard." So for people who don't know, the $200 Fallout 76 Power Armor edition was advertised, and on the page, the Amazon page, it said it came with a canvas like bag that the Power Armor comes in. Bethesda sent out shitty garbage nylon bags. People were obviously mad because they paid $200 for a shitty collector's edition thing, which, to be fair, like, a lot of collector's editions do come with garbage things, and like the general consensus of companies is fuck you.
I like that the collector's edition Lego game that I got was like, here's all the DLC for free, and I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, like, see, that's
and here's a Lego minifigure, and I'm like, this is better than anything.
That's a good collector's edition. Like Darksiders 2, I got the collector's edition for that, and it comes with like
the art
little
book
mask and the art book. Yeah, the art book.
The art book
But
was
it comes,
really nice.
It comes with death masks and like a little art book. My problem with collector's editions art books though is like, just give me the fucking full book. I don't want the mini books, you know?
Yeah, that's true. The mini book is kind of like, come
Yeah,
on.
because like
Come on,
Persona
yo.
5 one came with like a normal sized book, but it was still like about half of all the art. And I understand they want to sell art books, but I bought a collector's edition.
Like, I expect an art book.
Like, just give me the fucking full art book.
And especially because art books are really fucking expensive usually.
Yeah, they're like $100.
Yeah, 100, like 80 to 100, even more. time. So it's
Yeah,
like fuck that.
it's really gross.
But yeah, this shitty nylon bag.
Yeah. So the shitty nylon bag, people were like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" Bethesda said, "That's the bag," and people said,
they're like,
"No."
This is trash.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
literal garbage.
this is fucking shit, and it's not even good quality. And
My
they pretty much advertised it as a canvas bag.
No, they did. On the Amazon page, and in the picture it said it said canvas bag. Fucking really funny thing that happened before
Liars.
they announced this. That they were replacing the shitty nylon bags with actual canvas bags, is that two people of influence promoting the game, they got a different actual canvas bag.
Wow,
Yeah.
you
So
fucking
they
assholes.
straight up sent real canvas bags to people of influence, quotation marks.
Jesus,
But they didn't want to dish out the cash for the collector's edition.
Bunch of
the
assholes.
Backlash,
Fucking
I guess,
shit.
just got way too out of hand. And Bethesda, Mr. Todd Coward himself,
Todd Coward,
said,
Daddy
"Fuck
Todd."
it, give them their bags."
God.
What's the actual tweet? "We are finalizing manufacture plans for replacement canvas bags for all Fallout 76 Power Armor editions. If you purchase the CE, please visit this link and submit a ticket by January 31st, 2019, and we'll arrange to send you a replacement bag as soon as they're ready." The funniest thing, I mean, there's too many funny things about this shit. But I think the best is just like a week ago, maybe. They were like, "We don't plan on doing anything about this," and a week later they backed down super hard, and now people will get their bags.
Those fucking cowards. Like Bethesda have made some of my favorite games, and they have done so much bullshit at the same time.
So much bullshit. I mean,
They're-
just the fact that they've re-released fucking Skyrim, I don't even know how many more times. I was thinking about this the other day.
And they've refused to
actually.
fix the bugs.
Yeah, they never like touch it. They just up the graphics and the resolution, and like that's it. There you go.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
love Skyrim, don't get me wrong.
Me
like
too.
I didn't call it one of my favorite games earlier for a reason. I mean, The Elder Scrolls has one of the most complex and well-written fictional worlds in all of fantasy.
if only their engine could be as complex and work as well.
Exactly. It's fucking
I mean, the thing too is they're working on a fucking like super old engine.
they are.
Where I had a point. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day actually, because I thought about Skyrim and I was like, "Oh, I love Skyrim. It's been like so long since I played that." I was like, "When did that come out?" And then it's like, "Oh wait, no. When did which version come out?"
Yeah.
Because like it's come out like every year for the past 6 years almost now.
The game is it's literally 7 years old.
That shit came out and I was still in high school.
Yeah, same here. I was
Like-
in grade 10 or something when it came
Yeah.
out.
But it's just every release since then has just kind of like erased that memory and been like, "But I played this in high school. How's it? Oh wait, no, that's the like new remixed edition where you can fucking shoot a dragon out of your asshole." Anyway, Bethesda's dropping the ball super hard.
Yeah, they really fucked up with that. So that sucks.
I like the analogy I made where it was like Fallout 76 isn't just a ball drop anymore. It's inviting you to the ballpark and showing up with a hockey stick beating you. And now this is like you told your mom and you told your mom that Bethesda beat the shit out of you, and your mom told Bethesda's mom, and Bethesda's mom made Bethesda apologize to you.
That's exactly what it is. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's nice seeing that if enough people are pissed off, game companies can't get away with bullshit like this anymore.
Yeah, that's certainly nice, and I'm glad to
like,
hear
I
that
wish
we
it
have
didn't
some
have to
power
happen.
consumers. But yeah, fuck them for that, honestly,
yeah.
and fuck them for Fallout 76. It's such a fucking bad game.
It's really bad.
It is such a bad game on so many fucking levels,
I haven't
and
played it and I know it's bad.
the marketing push for the game was fucking huge, and just they did everything they possibly could to make this seem like the least appealing fucking thing ever. They made an entire no-clip documentary about the game, and even fucking no-clip couldn't sell this shit to me.
Yeah.
Like, no-clip are usually the company I go to when I'm like, I want to learn all about a game's production history, and their documentaries are really, really good. Their Fallout 76 documentary did not even like come
Didn't
close to selling
inspire
me
hope.
on this. No, it didn't. I saw this and I said, this looks like trash. And
Yeah.
it is trash. It's such a bad fucking game.
It's literal garbage. Okay, another thing. Apparently they pushed this shit 6 months out earlier than it was supposed to be out just to make holiday sales.
Wow, that's fucking
Yeah.
bullshit. So yeah, fuck Bethesda for this entire fiasco. Fuck the way that they're treating their consumers.
Mhm.
Like, look, I
It's
get
not
it.
great.
Like, you as somebody who lives under capitalism probably shouldn't expect companies to do anything for you, and usually that's kind of my mentality when it
But
comes
to
to this stuff.
boldface lie this hard is
Yeah, this is a bold-faced fucking lie, and it's a transparent lie, and it's just like, you know what? Go fuck yourselves, Bethesda. So yeah, fuck you, Todd Howard. Fuck you, Bethesda. Fuck Fallout 76. Fuck the nylon bag. Like, fuck nylon as a material. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of ridiculous, Tumblr.
Tumblr has removed all content from its website.
Yeah, might as well be all content. I guess the veneer of it is that it's all NSFW content, and if you kind of go through with a comb, like everything that they're removing,
It's literally everything.
So no-
The official post explaining what they're doing on their website was flagged.
yeah,
Like the staff post. Was
everything
flagged
on
itself.
everything on Tumblr that's like I get that they're removing porn bots. Cool, porn bots suck. Nobody
Yeah, they
likes
were
it
getting
when
annoying.
18 fucking porn bot accounts follow you and you think that people followed you for a second. But hey, guess what? Not safe for work content doesn't just mean porn. It means people posting about their bodies in a positive way.
It means
Women and men and non-binary people and genderqueer people
Wait,
and
what was-
agender people.
What was the line? The
Female presenting nipples.
are not allowed.
Which that's basically Tumblr making a judgment call about people's gender identity,
yeah,
which
'cause,
is
like,
really
how do you-
not fucking cool.
I don't understand the logic behind that.
I just put it this way. Okay, if you are intersex and you post a picture of your body, but you read as female to somebody, like if they look at you and see that you are female, but you are literally physically not even physically female,
Mhm.
what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like I said, like what if you are intersex and maybe you have breasts, but you also have body hair? What if you shave your body hair and you have a hairless breast, but you are intersex? You are by all means, reading to the algorithm and to maybe other people as female. That is Tumblr making a judgment call about your gender, your biological gender, no less. Not just your gender identity, but your biological sex.
Mhm.
Like, what
And
the fuck,
That's
dude?
why it's so weird to me too, because like the sentence comes off as trying to be
Woke?
inclusive, and
Yeah.
woke.
It's a
But it's
female
like
presenting nipple.
Yeah, like if you just post a picture of a nipple, what happened?
Yeah, what if a trans woman who maybe does not have
I like to
breath
think that they've just got a
post
team
a
of
picture
nipple
of themselves.
analysts
Ugh,
being like, "Oh, that's a dude nipple."
that assumes
I
that
can
Tumblr
tell.
puts any effort into this shit.
Exactly.
God,
well,
if they had nipple analysis analysts and but they don't.
Then this picture of the Green Ranger handing Batman a plate of hot dogs wouldn't have been flagged.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So yeah, Tumblr, you done fucked up, which is not the first time. And I get the sentiment because there's a
Yahoo-
lot of
Yahoo
There's a lot of
bought Tumblr to kill Tumblr.
yeah, and
Like-
they've been looking for a reason to kill it for years. And I'll be straight. Tumblr has had many good reasons in the past to kill it. It is a hotbed for fucking pedophiles, people who post lolly porn, people who draw not safe for work art of children, people who are racist and not like Nazis and white supremacists.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna ask, did you
Tumblr
see the Washington
lives for this
Post,
shit.
Posted a thing that was like, it is now going to be a lot easier to find it's going to be, I forget the exact wording, but essentially it boiled down to, it's going to be easier to find Nazi propaganda on Tumblr than it is going to be NSFW work. Like, Nazi
Yeah.
propaganda is going to be more visible than like a titty.
So
like,
I think
how
it's
is that okay?
I think it's about time people start abdicating and just kind of like leaving Tumblr. I think I might very well do that
I did like
because
years ago. I don't think I've touched my Tumblr in so fucking long.
I go on maybe once a week to kind of scroll through my blog and see what the fuck's going on. But I'll be honest, one of the things that I liked about Tumblr as somebody who's non-binary and who's had, a lot of trouble, like maybe especially in the last 6 or 7 years, kind of dealing with my gender identity, it was really healthy for me to see people who are non-binary, people who are intersex, people who are trans posting positively about their bodies and sharing pictures and saying, hey, it's okay if you look like this. And the fact that Tumblr has just kind of made a judgment call on that and said that's not okay, that's not allowed, that's pure, that's immoral. They've made this puritanical judgment call, is really shitty to me. So,
Fuck you, Tumblr.
and this is not just for me being non-binary, but for people who have body problems and need to see encouraging pictures of people, people's nude bodies in a non-sexual manner portrayed positively, just to kind of help them kind of navigate their own
communities
self-esteem
there that are like good for
Yeah.
a bunch of people. Like I remember like when I was I guess still in high school and just like dealing with depression and anxiety and being like, I don't get what's wrong, like I don't understand why I feel like this all the time. And then you got this fucking like space of people that are like, yeah, us too. It's
it's validating.
we're here. We can talk about like whatever you want to talk about, like it's a good space to just vent, and like it does help. It really fucking does. And it's a bummer to see space like communities like that, I guess. Just
Just
getting
totally
erased.
being called immoral, like being judged as immoral or bad when there is literal immoral bad shit on the website that is going to be now even more so visible. Like this really is, as I put to some of my friends, this is Tumblr saying, if you are not conforming to like a very particular kind of person, if you are not neurotypical, if you are not heterosexual or cisgender, if you are not kind of living your life confident enough in your body that you don't need to talk about it or have other people help you kind of work through that shit, you are not welcome on this platform. And that's frankly disgusting to me. So yeah, fuck Tumblr. And I think I'm gonna peace out of there pretty soon, because unless some kind of response comes from the website that aims to actually kind of fix this. And I was just saying, if they got rid of like all Nazi and pedophile content, which is very easy to get rid of, like you can find those tags.
So much better. It would make
it would be so much
more
better.
sense.
But like Twitter, they're pretty much just kind of taking the side of like, hey, but free speech, and like, yeah, free speech for people who conform to what you want them to talk about.
No nipples,
so,
though.
Yeah, no nipples, but
This
swastikas, that's all cool. So fuck that.
Swastika's not a nipple.
Yes. Nazi propaganda ain't nipples, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck Tumblr. That's
On a
really
brighter, happier note, a Swedish retailer has listed Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Switch.
That is really exciting, because I'll be honest, I've not extensively played any of those games, and I'm very excited to.
They are good games, for the most part.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. This is clearly not confirmation. It's just kind of a website leak, and it could be fake. These pictures look kind of mock-ups, quickly put on, because like all you have now is a cover box cover that just says Metroid Prime Trilogy, and then you get screenshots of the other games that are already in it. So I'm not really sure how valid it is, but this could mean that at TGA tomorrow we can get a peek at this maybe, or Metroid Prime 4, which would be really fucking rad. I'm planning on actually streaming my viewing of the TGA tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that when we're busting down
That's I hope I
Oh,
I really
shit.
hope that that does come out.
Apparently, there's they listed Bayonetta 3. Okay, you know what? This could actually end up being fake.
Oh,
Cause
okay. Maybe we won't report on it then until it's confirmed.
yeah. So tune in tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, the website listed Bayonetta 3, which is possible. Luigi's Mansion 3, maybe. There's an Animal Crossing game on the Switch, and the one that makes me think it's fake is the Elder Scrolls 6 is listed.
Hmm.
So, and as we know, the
Just
Elder Scrolls 6 isn't going to be coming out for like 4 years.
yeah, just
So,
you know,
yeah. We'll stop talking
that's
about this, and we'll watch the Game Awards tomorrow and see if anything comes of it.
hopefully. I'm hearing that they're going to have the Avengers trailer for the new movie come out on Friday, along with the
Mm,
new Spider-Man trailer on Saturday. So, and yeah, Game Awards shit. Definitely, there's going to be some trailers for stuff. So we'll see what happens.
yeah.
It's going to be exciting though. And I had one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Before we
apart
jump into the
apart
joke
from
news.
yeah, apart from the joke news, uh, there is a final crossover trailer for the DC Elseworlds event, which is the thing that I spent like almost a whole hour talking
Yeah.
about last episode. But a final trailer has come out, and we've seen some teases at the end of the latest episodes of all the shows that are involved, that show kind of what the fuck has been going on. The 90s version of The Flash, played by John Wesley Shipp from like the 90s live action Flash show that ran for 2 seasons, is going to be making a cameo appearance and kind of playing a role in the story. But they showed his world and like a bunch of other famous kind of DC TV universe worlds, like the Smallville world and stuff,
Yeah.
getting decimated by the Monitor.
Oh shit, there's the fucking bat sign.
Yeah. And
I'm watching it right now, yeah.
yeah, but basically, this is going to be the event that premieres Batwoman. This is going to be the event that premieres like a whole bunch of new shit, like Gotham City kind of lore into these TV series. So this is looking really exciting so far. But I'm going to be watching that next week when it comes on, so I'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
Yeah,
really
like-
exciting.
You had a like 2-second frame of Batwoman in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you see Kate Kane very briefly out of
Yeah.
costume as Ruby Rose. But suffice it to say, that's going to be really exciting. So now for our big joke news.
Yeah, joke news. Big joke news. This is probably my favorite thing that I've seen all week.
Yeah. Greatest rapper alive, Soulja Boy Tell 'em.
Launches SouljaWatch.com.
Now, SouljaWatch.com is an AliExpress page, essentially.
No. No. Don't get it twisted. This is an official Soulja Boy website.
Oh, okay.
Official Soulja Boy. There's a gift card, which is official, and there's a Soulja game console, which is official, and there's a Soulja game handheld. Soulja game Tell 'em. Now, this website
Soulja
is great.
game.
SouljaWatch.com. SouljaWatch.com. You can go check it out yourself. It's really fun, amazing. Fucking, I can't believe this is real. Cause I don't know how to explain it other than Soulja Boy has completely lost his fucking mind.
I mean, I thought he lost his mind a little while ago.
Yeah, but
Because this is just this is a transparent scam.
This is the scammiest scam that I have ever seen. I love the. Okay, here's the breakdown of the Soulja game console. Packaging, yes. Brand name Soulja Game by Anbernic. Anbernic? Anbernic.
And Anbernic.
Anbernic. Oh yeah, I'm dyslexic.
Oh god.
Model HD game console. Size 2016 4cm TV game console. Weight 1.25 kilogram game electronics. Color white console. Just so you know, it's really a console, you know? Material SG video game console. Whatever that means.
Soulja game.
Type for Soulja game PS Neo Geo PC Sega GBA NES video games.
Yeah,
Age over
okay.
3 years old. Don't know what that means.
I think that means the recommended age for the console.
Oh.
And it's got 800
shit.
built-in games.
800 built-in games. Now the funny thing about Anbernic.
Yeah.
Anbernic. You take that, you type that into the good old Googles, and it brings
And it's
you
just
to an AliExpress page where
Yeah.
both the Soldier Game handheld and the Soldier Game console are there for about half price of
Yeah.
the actual
They
Soldier
just
Game
don't. They
website.
just don't have Soldier Boy's name on.
The ones now, it needs to be said also that the ones on the actual Soldier Game bullshit website don't have any Soldier branding on them either. They are one for one the exact same console that you are getting off of AliExpress.
Soldier Watch.
Yeah, there's the Soldier Watch, there's the Soldier phone.
Soldier Pods with your fucking headphones. Holy shit.
Yeah, so essentially
Soldier Pods.
Soldier Boy had a shopping spree on AliExpress and was like, how about I make this money back?
Oh my fucking
That's what I
god.
assume happened.
This is a really wild way for back into the news, that's for
This
sure.
is legit ridiculous. I can't believe this is actually real life.
Soldier Watch.
He just bought emulator shit from China. And like the funniest thing to me is that like you check the handheld on the Abernic site at $59.99 as opposed to the Soldier Boy site where it is $99.99. But
Seems
it's on
legit.
sale. If it's not on sale, it's $200 for
It's
this
fucking ridiculous.
emulator thing. I really hope no one falls for this.
Soldier
Because
Watch.
That would be fucking tragic.
This is a I don't think I have ever seen a more transparent scam in my entire life.
Me
Like
either.
holy
The only
fuck.
thing, the only more transparent scam I've ever seen was this morning on my delivery run. Fucking some guy with an orange, the construction coats that you can just buy at Dollarama. He came up to me and was like, "Oh, I've been working construction all night." I was like, "Oh yeah, that thing that's illegal that they can't do." You can't work
Oh
construction at
boy.
night. So immediately I was like, "Yeah, okay, what's up?" He's like, "I locked my keys in my car and I called a taxi for him to come open my door." And I was like, "I don't think taxis do that." And he's like, "But they want me to pay $40 and I only have 20. Do you have $20 for me?" And I was like, "Did you
Just
hear yourself just now? Like, do I look stupid to you?"
just as
But yeah, anyway. This is on the same level of scammery.
God. God.
Yeah, so that's the funny joke news. And I guess that pretty much kills it for the podcast this week.
Oh my god. All I have to say is while I was scrolling through Liam Robertson's Twitter feed to
Who?
make sure that the Liam Robertson, the guy who does
yeah.
leaks,
Yeah.
just to make sure that the Metroid thing was legit, I saw something tangentially related to the CW come up.
Oh no.
And it's a 15-second clip from an episode of Legends of Tomorrow season 3 in which Gorilla Grodd, the Flash villain,
Yeah.
attempts to murder Barack Obama
Sick.
as a child in college.
Sick.
And it's him breaking into Barack Obama's fucking like room at
Nursery.
college and going, "Barack Obama, I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Cut content.
So yeah, this is why the CW is totally operating on like a completely fucking different level, and that why everybody should be watching these shows, especially Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that shit was really, really fun. And anyway, I think it's been a pretty strong week.
Yeah.
We did a
Yeah.
pretty long podcast for a sick boy.
A sick boy. Very sick boy. Oh god, I'm fucking napping after this. I'm done.
All right, you go take your nap, my guy.
Yeah. You got anything coming up this week?
This
You
week,
did that
well, I've
announce?
got a lot of school shit coming up this
Yeah.
week, but in terms of straight up other stuff, I do not. So I guess I should say,
Oh, sorry.
hey, if you don't know, you can get an audio version of this podcast. Yes, this very podcast
The one you just heard.
in MP3 form, coming up in just a couple of hours. It's going to be in our mega folder, which I have links to pinned at the top of every one of our social media pages.
I will also be doing a transfer of the live video over to YouTube's
Yeah, so you
which
can
will
listen
also
to
be
us
on
on
the
there.
Facebook page.
And there
We've
will
got
be
links to pretty much everything.
Yeah, right in the description for all of
Yeah.
those videos. So, yeah.
My week is going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming the Game Awards. I'll
Yeah.
just be like
And who
commentating
knows if
along.
if I'm ready to if I'm not doing any class or anything after my test, I might just pop by and check it out with you.
Yeah, that could be cool.
You never know.
That could be cool. We'll talk
But
about that. But
we'll
yeah,
see.
I'm gonna stream that over at Scratch Me Silly on Twitch.
Yeah. So that'll be over by his Twitch, his Twatch.
My Twitch Twatch.
And yeah, when I'm done my fucking exam that I have to, if I'm suffering my ass off,
Yeah.
I might sit on down at like an internet cafe or whatever and watch with you.
Yeah, do it.
But some shit will be happening, that's for sure. It's gonna be a wild time tomorrow.
Yes. Other than that, I'm probably gonna stream later in the week, but nothing to announce just yet.
And yeah, all right. Well, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Well,
That's a fucking podcast right there.
yeah, and of course we have links to our Discord now available on our social media. So
Yeah, I'll be posting that in all the YouTube videos later.
yeah, so if you want to join our Discord, it's all cool. We're all ready for it. And I guess without further ado, we can say goodbye.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Well, have a good week.
You too.
And we'll see you all next week. Probably not the same time, but same place.
Yeah, same place. Probably a little earlier.
Maybe just a little earlier. Yeah, I think that might be good. Because next week's Thursday... No, Wednesday's going to be good for me. So yeah, a little earlier.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Well, everybody take it easy.
Have a good night, everyone.